guys, it's Leanna of Misfit Designs, and for this week's video we are going to be going through, organizing, and redoing my yarn stash. So as you guys know, I have a crap ton of yarn because I do a lot of crocheting, and it's gotten a little out of hand lately, and because I've just been so busy, I haven't been putting my yarn away, I haven't been caking it when it needs it. So I decided for this week we were going to go through and re-cake and reorganize all of my yarn. And yeah, so let's just get into it. I'm going to show you guys where and how I currently have all of my yarn, because it's a little bit of a mess. Alright, so this is the main place that I store all of my yarn. I have this like over the door shoe rack that I got on Amazon, and it goes on the back of my closet door, so I'm currently standing in my closet. That way I can't see it from my bedroom. But as you can see, it is a disaster. There are, first off, tons of holes in it of where I need to put yarn, and then a bunch of skeins that just have tails coming off, skeins stuffed in random places when there's literally an empty spot right there, just like skeins literally falling apart on me, and like there's this, and just a ton of yarn barf as we get closer to the bottom. This is the main place that I keep most of my yarn, and obviously this needs gone through, so I'm gonna take everything out, put all of my yarn in a pile, and then we'll go from there, re-caking everything and figuring it out. But I want to show you guys where I have a little bit more yarn, because this is not quite all of it. So that was most of it, and then in these storage things that I have in my room, I have this one that has a bunch of yarn. It has some random yarns that I just didn't put away, and then a lot of the yarn in here is like yarn for me projects. Actually, what's supposed to be in here is yarn that I bought for personal projects, but as I'm sure you can tell, it has just evolved into just a ton of random yarn that I didn't know where else to put. And so that's some of it, and then hold on, there's more. So the rest of my yarn is either in a giant space saver bag that I have under the bed in our spare room that I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull that out. So you guys will see that in a second. And then I also have a giant box from Premier of yarns that I bought a couple months ago. I think I was planning to make Christmas decorations and Christmas product with them, but then I got busy and I didn't do that. So I have a giant box of yarn from Premier as well that is all mostly brand new. Well, it's all brand new, but like, I mean, I've barely opened that box. So I'm gonna grab both of those and then all of the yarn out of that shoe storage container. We're gonna put it all on the floor, assess what needs re-caked, and then after I re-cake things, I'm gonna be able to start putting them away. And yeah, so let's go get the rest of my yarn. Alright guys, so as you can see, if my camera would focus, there we go, that is all of my yarn. Way too much of it. Yeah, so I did not go through, that is that tote that has all of like the yarn for me. I'm gonna go through that one last because I want to kind of go through all of this because there is so much, and then go through that. But this is all the yarn that was in that behind my door. That is that space saver bag I told you guys about. It is full of yarn. And then this is that Premier box, and like this is not a small box, this is a massive box. Alright guys, if you see wow, if I could hold the phone. Alright guys, so if you see a difference in the quality, it's because we've switched to my phone. My camera battery is taking too long. So we're gonna go on my phone for a little bit. When that charges, we'll jump back on the camera. And I'm sorry for all the camera quality jumps. But yeah, so as you can see while I was waiting for the camera, I did kind of start going through it and I pulled through the skeins that were like brand new of the chenille. So I had some, here, let me show you. I pulled out like, there's like some brunette blanket and some and Big Twist is pretty much most of these, and they were just like brand spanking new skeins. They weren't really coming apart. They were fine. They haven't really been used at all. If they have, they're still to the point where like they look full. So I pulled those ones out and I went ahead and put those back in the door just to help. But going back to the massive yarn pit on the floor, what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to dump out that bag and dump out that box. And then with that dumped out, we're going to sit down and literally just pull out anything that needs recaked. I'm going to put in the box, and then everything that doesn't need recaked, I'm just going to stack up on the floor. And then after we get through all of that, I will start putting all of the new skeins or skeins that didn't need redone away. And then we'll go through and we'll recake everything. So let's get into it. Okay, I have way too much yarn, I fear. So this is everything out of the box, out of the bag, and we're just gonna go ahead and start going through it. Again, anything that needs recaked is going in the box. Anything that is fine, does not need rewound, I'm gonna like stack up on a different pile on the floor somewhere, somehow, and we'll start putting that new yarn away, and all of those messy skeins will cake up after. Yeah, so this one is fine. You know what? I was gonna sit here and talk you guys through it, but I think I'm just gonna speed this up while I go through it, and if I find something interesting, I will pause and we can talk about it then. I think is the plan, because otherwise you're just gonna hear me go, this is good, this needs redone 100 times. So let's just jump into it. Let's just go. All right, I moved that very full box out of the way, and this is all of my yarn that is either still in a nice skein from when I bought it, like that, or that I caked, and the cake still looks mostly nice. Yeah, so as you can see, there is a ton of yarn here. I'm gonna go ahead and hold on. I'm gonna put you guys down and then we're gonna talk about what I'm gonna do. As you can tell, this video is chaotic because I, on a whim, decided I want to redo my yarn. No, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna go through all of this again, and I'm going to sort it by, like, type of yarn. And the way I plan on doing that is separating Parfait Chunky and then the Bernat Blanket and Big Twist. So kind of organizing the chenilles more by weight. So the, what is Parfait Chunky? Parfait Chunky is a 6, but Bernat Blanket is also a 6. But, like, we know that Parfait Chunky and Bernat Blanket are not the same size yarn. Because I use a 5mm for this, I use an 8mm for Bernat Blanket. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna separate those two, so Parfait Chunky and then Bernat Blanket and Big Twist, and then I'm also gonna separate out the acrylics and the cottons, and then, yeah, I think that's kind of for the most part. I don't know how many random yarns are in here. Actually, I know there's this, the Premier Bunny, which I think is gonna go with the Bernat Blankets, / Big Twist, because it's massive and I'm probably going to pair it with that most of the time anyway. So we're going to go through, we're going to sort this yarn real quick, and then I'm going to start putting this into that shoe storage thing and see how much we can fit in there. So let's go. Okay, so we're sorted. This is Bernat Blanket, and then Parfait Plush, which is chunkier, and then that Premier Bunny yarn. And there's not too much here. This is all Premier Parfait Chunky, and then those two. That one is Parfait Chunky. I think that is Hobie Honey Bunny, and that is Bernat Velvet, which is just a little bit of a skein, but that's that. So that's all of the Premier. And then this is all, this, like, right here is all cotton. It's pretty much Lily Sugar and Cream cotton. And then all of that, so from that orange all the way up and all on the beanbag chair, is all acrylic, except for this little teal skein, which is a merino, which I have no idea where I got this, but it's really cute. So yeah, it's a Supermosh merino and nylon, but I'm going to put it with the acrylic just because I don't know where else to put it. And yeah, that is all of those skeins sorted. We're going to start putting that away, and then we'll move. Well, I'm going to start with the Bernat Blanket, because I already kind of have a home for that, and then we'll move into all of the acrylic and everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and start putting this away. And then once all this is put away, we can finally tackle that box of just yarn barf. Cake number 2. Here is cake number 3. All right, cake number 4. And because I actually still have the label from this one, I'm just gonna stick it in the middle of the cake. That way I know what yarn it was, because a lot of the cakes that I'm gonna do, I don't have the yarn labels for anymore, but I do for this one. So yeah, number 4. And cake number 5. All right, number 6. All right, here is cake number 7. Cake number 8. I technically didn't recake this because it is in that giant nest of yarn. So we're just going to count it. This is cake number 9. And all this extra little bit, it's going to go in the scrap basket. Yeah, so number 9. Number 10. 11.
I think we do. Let's see. Talenti. Oh.
It just attacked you guys. Wow. Okay. I think it told me that I needed to change the angle of the camera, huh? Okay, let's keep going. 12. for real this time. After it tried to jump off and attack. 13, 14, 15, number 16, 17, 18. This just looks like a ball of fur. I promise it's yarn. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. I thought this was going to be so much faster. I genuinely thought there were like 20 skeins in there. I was wrong. Yeah, 37. Let's keep going. 38, 39. I think this is 39. I'll just count. No, it's 38. We're at 38. I can count. 39. Number 40. You know, I think I'm gonna hit 50 before I'm done. I'm getting there though. I'm getting there. I can like see the bottom of the box. I'm getting there. Number 41. 42. 43. 44, I think. If I remember. Yeah, pretty sure this is 44. We're getting there. There's probably like 2 or 3 more in the box. So I'm almost done. Let's go. 45. Number 40 something, I don't know. I lost count, but I have 3 more left. So I'm gonna wind up those 3, and then when I put them away, I will do a final count. But I will show you guys after I wind those 3 because I don't remember what number this is. I want it to be a fun transition, but I lost count and I cannot remember for the life of me, and I don't want to recount, so. All right, as you can see, I have a ton of caked yarn in front of me. I finished caking all of them. I have yet to count them. I'm going to do that in a second. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put all of these away because I'm getting tired. It is late. I've been working at this since like 1 p.m. and it is 5:30. So while it's not like late, I'm getting tired of organizing my yarn, ignoring my trash over there. But yeah, so this is all of the Premier Parfait Chunky, and then here is pretty much all acrylic, and then that's a little bit of cotton. I think this is cotton, I'm not sure. There's more like encroaching slowly onto me. And then all of this is Bernat Blanket, and I did go through that other spot where I had yarn. As you can see, I put out all this cotton. And yeah, we're going to put all this away, and I will come back to show you guys just how many skeins I recaked, and then also show you what my final yarn storage looks like for right now. So yeah, I'll be back. All right, guys, we are done. Here is the finished organizer that goes over my door. As you can see, it looks so much better. I ended up caking 50 skeins of yarn. So I want to walk you through and show you how I organized it. The top is black Bernat Blanket, and then the 2 different colors I have of the bunny yarn. This is all white and cream Bernat Blanket and Big Twist. And then we have Bernat Blanket and Big Twist, another one of Bernat Blanket and Big Twist, another one of Bernat Blanket and Big Twist, and then another one again of Bernat Blanket and Big Twist. As you can tell, I have a lot of those, and they take up a lot of room. Then underneath of that, I have 2 of the Premier Parfait Chunky. And like underneath of here, there are so many like cakes just shoved in there. But this is just the best way to store it. So it's going to be a little messy. Like if I have to find a color, I'm going to have to like dig, but it's fine. Underneath of that, I have some of my acrylic. These are the ones that I caked that I don't see me using right now, because I'll show you where the rest are. And I'd rather have these here because I don't think I'm going to use them right now. So they're going to sit here, and the rest is out in my room. And that way these are like not just sitting on my floor forever. They're actually put away because I'm probably like, this is for Christmas. So like, yeah. And then this bottom one is all cotton, and it is again, like just, it is full. Like there's just like cotton on cotton on cotton in there. But if that would stay. But yeah, that is that organizer. And let me show you guys where I have all of the acrylic. All right, so I put all of my acrylic in this Premier Yarns box that I had. As you can see, it is on top is just some couple random cakes and then like 2 random skeins that I just didn't know what else to put. And then in here, as you can see, is just skeins, just like full skeins, and they're just stood up in there. of the acrylic that I had. There's this mandala cake that I just put there because I'm probably going to use it for a beanie soon. And then the rest of these on top are cakes that I just wound. And yeah. Here's the last place I wanted to show you is this basket. So as you can see, this top looks chaotic, but it is a basket in here that has all of my scrap yarn in it. So there's that cake, like pieces that just were not worth caking, and just scraps that I hold on to. And then underneath of that is all of the yarn that I have kept for myself for personal projects. So there is that, and this looks so much better. All right, guys, so yeah, that was me organizing all of my yarn. I know this video was probably super chaotic and super crazy, but I'm super happy. It only took like 4 hours. Would have been shorter if I didn't want to recake all the yarn, but I wanted it to look good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this super chaotic video. If you did, please make sure to comment down below, leave a like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!